Okay, week 8 is done. We're here to go through the podcast. What an eventful time it has been. Yeah, so many trades in the NFL. It felt like a fucking Sunday night on Matt Hall's roster with the amount of changes going on. Um, but yeah, it's in the books. We'll have a look through transactions. We'll see how I did on predictions. Waivers have gone through already, and yeah, we'll have a look at who else is available, who maybe should be picked up. So first of all, I think I went 3-3 on my predictions. So obviously I lost to Mark, which is a shame. But Christian McCaffrey decided to start playing football again. I foolishly backed Matt Hall. I don't know why I did that. It's very silly. Nah, Damien had another great result. 128 points. No shame in losing when you score 128, 124 against that. Mike just got the job done, as Mike does, but a very respectable score from Ed, which might be a sign of good things to come. Jim let me down. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Connor beat the Bunglers. Yes, I was brave, Nick, and they beat the Bunglers. And then Kinch got it done against Skell as well. Skell, you still need that one more win to finally get it done for the year. Okay, get your best season ever. We all want it to happen. 2 wins to go 0.5 for the first time as well. That'd be fantastic. We all think you can do a Skell. Let's get it done. So a couple of trades pre the games. We had Jim picking up Malik Willis to play him at QB. I think it was worth a gamble. It was him or Ellinger. He was saying like I don't know. It's always a risk playing rookie QBs, but Malik Willis could have ran around and ran 2 touchdowns in. Sadly, not meant to be. Yeah, there were some guys on waivers who could have won you your matchup, but I don't blame you for rolling the dice. Like, he could have been a superstar. Chase Edmonds picked up, like, basically I was gambling that Mostert died and Chase Edmonds would become useful. He's been traded now. Has he? Yeah, he's now a Denver running back. So yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's particularly anything good for his long-term value, but honestly we'll go through more of that in the predictions episode, I think. DPJ picked up as well. I had some bye weeks to cover. Skell, I like this move. Van Jefferson, he got a lot of snaps. It's one of them ones where Allen Robinson's kind of shit and they need more wide receivers, so maybe he'll do more as time goes on. Mikey D picks up Naheem Hines. Does he still have him? Yes, he does. And Naheem Hines is now a Buffalo Bill. I like that. I would like to have Naheem Hines on my roster. So yeah, the rich get richer. Well done, Mike. Mike Gesicki, yeah, he's a tight end. Whatever. David Njoku, I think, is injured, so Damien rides the Dalton Schultz train. He's also making a veteran move to turn 1 pickup into 2 pickups, increasing his number of transactions on the season, as I feel like that's where he will get the most success this year, is on the number of transactions he can make. Josh Palmer, oh my god, poor Mike Gesicki. It didn't even last a day and Matt picks up Josh Palmer. Oh man. If he plays, like, Keenan Allen is once again not playing, so if Josh Palmer is good to go against Atlanta, that is a nice matchup, so worth keeping. Here is where the pain started for Matthew. Raheem Mostert on the block, Jackson on the block, Mark Andrews on the block. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. So yeah, Jim starts the fire sale by selling Patrick Mahomes for a 1. I'm going to ignore all the nonsense that he did. We all know it's nonsense. Matt picks up Gerald Everett just before Monday night. He's okay. I mean, he's a tight end. He's an above average tight end. I like that. Marquise Goodwin to the bin by Numbnuts. Picks up the Bengals. They're playing Carolina this week. I'll get into that in the previews, but I don't. Well, you dropped him straight away anyway for Mecole. Mecole, yeah, coming back. He had a monster game. He's been doing good. The snap share doesn't excite me, but we'll see if he can keep it going. And then Malik Willis to the bin as well by Jim. You've got your report there if you want it. Lowest scorer was me. Lovely. Below expectations was me as well. Fantastic. Then we went on to waivers. So The main guy everyone wanted was Rondale Moore. Nick puts in $26, Damien 17, Ed 12, Kinch 7, Numbnuts 3. Rondale Moore kind of exploded in his matchup, so I quite like that. His snap share is always really good, and he will get a lot of targets as well, as he's kind of like the possession guy for them. Seattle's quite a juicy matchup on paper, so yeah, I'm okay with that. Skell gets Miami. Well, sorry, Jeff Wilson picked up by Numbnuts for 7. This one kind of flew under the radar, but Jeff Wilson's a Dolphin now. I think it's okay. The problem is Raheem Mostert played at the same time as Jeff Wilson in San Fran, and Raheem Mostert was better. He was the starter. Jeff Wilson never got a look in, so I don't really know what Miami are going to do. Maybe they just saw this as a cheaper backup than Chase Edmonds. You know, you get rid of Chase Edmonds and then you get a cheaper backup in. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't think he'll do much though, but yeah, it's worth having. I'd rather have him on my roster because Mostert he's a liability. He's going to die. Skell, the Miami Dolphins paying $7 for him. This is a trap. Week 9 at Chicago is a trap. Okay, they've just picked up Chase Claypool in Chicago, and yeah, this is a trap. Don't play this defense. We'll discuss this later, Skelly. Don't play this defense. They're not very good player-wise. Their offense, like they thrive when they're having to chase games on offense, and they chase games a lot because the defense is bad. I don't know. This is not the one to play. I know Chicago on paper are bad, but they're getting better and better each week. So yeah, I don't like this move. I don't like this move. I don't mind dropping the Jaguars because like Vegas, I don't know. Yeah, not a fan. David Njoku as a tight end picked up for $7. I don't hate it. If he plays, cool. He's on the bye, so you're holding him through a bye week, and then he'll come back, and he's hopefully your tight end sorted for the whole time. That's fine. It's a shame you had to pay 7, but like if that's your guy, that's your guy. I don't. Meh. It's okay. Scale then also gets up Harrison Butker. He outbid Connor 6-3. Yeah, he's a kicker. He's Kansas City's kicker. Kansas City score a lot of points. I'm fine with it. Alec Pierce picked up by Ed for 5, outbidding a $0 bid from Jim, dropping Michael Gallup in the process. So I wonder if this was because you have to for your Week 9 bye week cover, but Michael Gallup should be on a roster. As much as we joke, he should be. He gets good snap share. Dak Prescott looks good. Yeah, he should be on a roster. Evan Engram bid on by Connor and Jim, both bidding $5 each. Jim losing out because of priority. Evan Engram, he's a tight end. Enough said. Nick gets the Kansas City Chiefs for a $2 bid. I am okay with this. Tennessee have not looked great, and if Ryan Tannehill's out, they're going to be trash. So yeah, that is fine with me. Jim gets the Minnesota defense on priority this time with a $1 bid over Ed. They're facing off against Washington this week. Again, I don't hate it. They're going to have a rookie QB or not PJ Walker, Taylor Heineke. That's fine. That's fine. Ed picks up Cincinnati Bengals for a $1 bid, dropping Rashad White. I'm guessing again this is a bye week thing, but I would have held on to Rashad White. Yeah, I think he's too good of a backup to let go. So yeah, someone will probably be picking him up. Oh, bloody hell, guys, going deep here. Jim picks up Alexander Mattison, elite backup bro behavior. Gus Edwards dropped to the bin. I wouldn't have done this as well. I think Gus Edwards, if he does play, is a high value player. Yeah, they've got Kenny Drake, but yeah, I mean, if you're gambling that Gus Edwards isn't going to play, fine. But I think he is going to play. So yeah, and then that kind of limits Drake's value. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I'm just saying he's going to be probably. Well, I don't know what is a Dontrell Hilliard. He's the backup to Derrick Henry. I mean, okay, fair enough. Like you're getting Yeah, if Derrick Henry goes down, he's an elite player, but it's fine. It's fine. You've gone from a guy who's at best like 60-40 of Baltimore to a guy who could be 100% of Tennessee. So yeah, fair enough. Bloody hell, boys. So then we had some kicker moves, which I just don't care about. Hunter Renfro being out there should probably be stashed by someone. Jim Madison does not last long on your roster. You pick up Dawson Knox. There's probably better tight ends out there for you to play. So I would, yeah, we'll review that in available players in the matchups to come. More kicker moves, which yeah, New England kicker, fine. Chargers defense over Washington. Who they're playing? They got Atlanta. Yeah, I like that. The Chargers defense isn't great, but you just hope that the Chargers offense plays better and keeps like it just helps the defense out that way. Robert Tonyan, nice. Don't hate it. Yeah. Oh, this is big. This is big. Treylon Burks dropped for Deion Jackson. Oh, he's due to return soon as well. Now, this is a guy who should be on a roster. If you're a keeper needy team and Treylon Burks is out there, pick him up and just whack him on your team. Numbnuts, get this done. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I mean, I understand why you pick up Deion Jackson, so you can when inevitably Jonathan Taylor's out, you've got Deion Jackson. Zach Moss might be the play, but man. And then Caleb Huntley picked up by Connor. Tyler Algier is the one to own there, but he's fine. He's a big square man running the ball. Yeah, that's all our moves. That's my standings. So 3-3. Some interesting moves. There's a lot of trades in the NFL as well, so a lot to go through there. But I think the best way to do it is to just go through everyone's rosters in the previews later on in the week. But yeah, let's get into the breakdown. Okay, before we get into the matchups, let's just have a quick look through the table and see where everyone is. We've got Numbnuts at 2-6 on his own at the bottom, only 740 points scored so far. 55 of his waiver left. 2-6, like you're very far behind on the points for to everyone except Damien, who's 2 games ahead of you. So and Damien's not even in the top 6. So in terms of turning it around, we've got 6 games left of the season. So you need to outscore everyone around you. Like if you look at the bottom of the top 6, there's people on 820. So you're probably 80 behind. So you need to be outscoring everyone by 12 to 14 points a week to catch up on the points for. You've got good players like Dalvin Cook and stuff, so that's potentially possible, but it's very hard. I think you're possibly getting to the point where you are mathematically if you lose 2 more games, no one with 8 losses and 6 wins has ever made it to the playoffs. So yeah, that's one to bear in mind. You need to win 4 out of next 2 basically, and with a good points for to have a chance. Kinch, you're on 3-5. You've got 6 games left. Again, really quite far behind on the points for. Not as bad as Numbnuts, but yeah, you've still got some good players though. You've got Derrick Henry, and you've got what's his face, Derrick Henry. Tyler Algier is coming good. Darnell Mooney is okay. Garrett Wilson had a good week last week as well. So there's some players there that could get it done for you. But again, we've got 6 games left. You need to win 4 of them. Sorry, Numbers, you need to win 5 of them. Shit. So yeah, you need to win 4 of them, and you need to catch 1 point towards have a chance. So if you go undefeated the rest of the way, sure, you could make it. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that happens though. Bottom of the soup, we have Mark on 838 points for, and there's 3 of you on this level. You, Mark, Jim, and Matt. That gives you 8, 9, and 10. And I think Matt here is probably the most dangerous because he's got 880 points for. Jim's close behind. You're all outscoring people like me, Connor, and I mean, obviously Damien, but Damien's not very good. And Skelly as well, pretty much you're there or thereabouts with him. So, and Ed, like you're really up there with like the other guys who are in the 4-4 and 5-3 group. So yeah, if you just win the games, it'll get you there. You need to win 4 of the next 6 games, and you need to keep your points for going for it as well. So you're definitely not got the easiest path. We need to look at who you still have to play. And if you're playing people above you, it's kind of like 2-point swings where you give them a loss and you get the win. So yeah, we'll start looking at that stuff as we go into the rest of the back half of the season. But yeah, I think you all really still have a chance, a very strong chance as well. Like winning 4 out of your games, especially if you've got some dollies against like Numbnuts and Damien, like you should really be pushing for the. Oh wait, Matt just lost to Damien. The 4-4 crowd, we've got Damien, myself, and Ed. So Damien's on 760 points for, I'm on 825, Ed's on 850. So with 6 games left, we just have to win half of them and maintain a good points for, which on paper is relatively easy to do. I haven't looked at the schedule yet to see who's in the driving seat for what, but yeah, you've got to, as long as if you like have a game against like I think I'm playing Jim this week. If I beat Jim this week, that is a real hard blow for him getting into playoffs because it vaults me up and kicks him back down, So yeah, it's rough. But we're kind of in the driving seat for the 5 and 6 spots, except for Damien, really. Again, a good way to think of it is just keep winning and you're fine. Then on 5 and 3, we have the Joe Bunglers, Skelton, and the Hospital of Sadness. And Skell, like, fair play. Like, you've got more points for than Connor, and Connor's got a solid team, man. Whereas we've got Nick on 960 points for. That is an incredible total. I think I would probably say if Nick gets 2 more wins, he's probably pretty sold for the playoffs at that point. Whereas if I'm Connor, I'm probably a bit worried. I would probably want to win 3 of the next 6 games to make sure I guarantee it, just because the points for is a bit lower. And then 7 and 1 on the top. Like again, Mike, if you win 1 more game, no one who got 8 wins ever missed out on the playoffs. I think that's the stat. Maybe won some points for. I can't remember, but yeah, that's the nice place to be. That's our table. I think we'll keep looking at this as we get into crunch time. Our current playoffs look like so. So we have Mikey D in the top bracket on the bye week, and then Nick in the bottom bracket in the bye week. Me versus Skell and Connor versus Ed are your playoff semis. I think that's a completely different set than last year, except for no, actually it's half a different set than last year. It'd be pretty nice. Yeah, that's the table. Let's get into the matchups. Okay, so we'll try and make this fast. First matchup was me versus Mark this week. Yeah, Josh Allen on Sunday Night Football kind of let me down. Did have a nice connection with Diggs, but wasn't enough. Was never really going to get it done. Christian McCaffrey is back in serious form. And Dak Prescott looks good to go as well. He had a very good performance on the week. Just, yeah, between those two, Amari Cooper just absolutely tonked me, really. The good news for Mark is on his bench, he's got Tony Pollard, who's dropping 33 points. And yeah, I just got absolutely tonked. The running back 2 is going to be a real problem for me. Ramondre Stevenson is a top 5 running back so far in the year. But if I'm pairing that with Brian Robinson, who gets 2 points and looked like he's been benched, I've now got Chase Edmonds, who is probably the 3rd string in Denver. Ew. David Montgomery, who's losing his job to Herbert. Yeah, this is a real problem for me. I'm not sure how we're going to fix it, but guys like Jermichael Hasty aren't the answer. On the other side, Mark, he's 3 and 5 after this result. Maybe a late season charge is on the cards for him. And would you put it past him? He's got Christian McCaffrey, who's going to absolutely smash the rest of the year. Dak Prescott, solidifying QB. George Kittle, who's solid tight end now. Amari Cooper looks great. Isaiah McKenzie, you got a bit lucky with that points, but it's only really the wide receivers who'll let you down. if Michael Thomas comes back healthy, Alan Lazard comes back healthy, this could be a very strong team in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, Mark absolutely tanked me off the back of that Christian McCaffrey performance. So our next one is Matt versus Damien. Matt scored 124, Damien 128.3. Damien is somehow 4-4 now. He's 4-4, and Matt is 3-5. This is really, really funny to me. For a guy who went out and bought Lamar and Mark Andrews and Devontae Adams and all the rest of it, and you're 3-5. It's really, really funny to me. But yeah, it's like when you look at it, it's the usual places where Damien scores points, which is like his Josh Jacobs, and his who else? Najee does usually okay. Khalil Herbert on his bench, Jamal Williams on his bench. Those two boys have scored well from in the past. Yeah, and like good defensive plays as well, where he usually gets his points. None of that mattered because he's just got 27 from D Hop, 24 from DJ Moore. Yeah, absolutely glorious. There was a very late Hail Mary caught by DJ Moore to get the touchdown, which I think sealed it for Damien. And AJ Brown, despite having a 36-point day, 3 touchdowns, it's wasted on Matt's performance here. Yeah, and a good streaming of your defense and your kicker as well. It's just not ideal, dude. Just not ideal. Yeah, Damien gets the win. It's one of the 128 points is nothing to be sniffed at. Long term, what's Damien going to do? Like Josh Jacobs he's not going to get goosed out every single week, but those receivers that he's got now, Myers, Hopkins, DJ Moore, got a pretty decent tight end in Schultz. He's okay. If he streams a good defense each week, Kyler Murray, if he keeps firing for the rest of the season, who knows? Damien at 4-4 could be a real problem. Okay, next we have Mikey D, who frankly has no reason to be 7-1 at this point, but here we are. He is. Drops another 140-point bomb on us, and poor Ed, 115, probably one of your highest scores of the year. Unfortunately, got taken down here. Mikey D is 7-1. Ed goes to 4-4 after this result. We've got Tua dropping 30, Deonta Foreman dropping 30, Mike Evans dropping 15, and then yeah, it's just solid performance everywhere else except for Gabe Davis. Like it's hard to really like compete when everyone scores over 10 points on your team. Like that is really, really good. And on the other side, like you had the Goose from Pickens, which is no good, Goose from the kicker as well. Yeah, you're a couple of players away from having a really, really good matchup here. But you didn't expect Las Vegas to get goosed out, and George Pickens as well. So I think Pittsburgh got goosed out. No, they didn't, but like he didn't do very good. Yeah, just a bad beat really. Long term, Kyle Pitts, is he going to do 80 yards and a touchdown every week? Probably not. But Ed's running backs of Etienne and Fournette, pretty good. Mikey D won this one with Deonta Foreman and Naheem Hines at running back. So, yeah, I don't know how he does it, but he keeps doing it to us. Got no right being here. He gets Austin Eckler back now. Juju Smith-Schuster back as well. It's a problem. It's a real problem for us. On the other side, Ed as well. Yeah, he's going to be competitive the entire way. But somebody has to stop this man. So yeah, Numbnuts, he snuck the win versus Jim, 107 points to 97. Jim slips to 3-5. Numbnuts gains 2 and 6. It's kind of irrelevant for him, unfortunately, because you're going to be in the Pooh Bowl no matter what. I don't see a path for you with this roster to get to the main playoffs now. And Jim, unfortunately, with the crazy, well, it's not crazy because I said to do it as well. Like Malik Willis I was a lot more hopeful of him doing more than what, like 5 carries is not what I expected. I expected like 10 to 15 and 10, more attempts than that as well. But yeah, Damian Pierce, he was solid. Kamara dropped a 40-point game for you and you did nothing with it. And then Waddle dropped a 25-point game. But you got the early goose from Bateman, early goose from Sutton as well. Tight end was a bit shit. And then still rolling with the San Fran defense against good teams. It's not a smart play. Like they're good, but they just don't get loads of sacks and picks and stuff like that. So it's always risky playing them, to be honest. On the other side, Geno Smith had a solid outing. Dalvin Cook did enough. CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy combined to outscore everyone else in Jim's receivers, and then you had Adam Thielen on top of that. Bit of a retard off at tight end, but it always is. And then, yeah, just pretty even everywhere else. The main swing there is Geno. Geno having an average day and your QB not having anything, which is a bit of a shame. But you get, I was going to say you get Patrick Mahomes back, but you sold him, unfortunately. And I think with that, that's possibly selling yourself out of the playoffs as well. On the other side, for Numbnuts, it's all about setting yourself up to not come last overall. You've got some good pieces there. Dalvin Cook should do enough in that best of 3 to stop you getting the last place, but who knows? It's the shit tier playoffs. Anything can happen. So I predicted this next one would be our closest matchup of the week, and I was right, and I was also right on my prediction. The Joe Bunglers scored 99 points to the Hospital of Sadness's 102 points. That moves them both to 5-3 records, although in their hearts, Nick will be 7-1 and Connor will be 8-0 because they live in their own realities. And what does this league even matter to their own? Well, I think you went into Monday Night Football needing something like 15 or 16 points from Joe Burrow, and he only scored 13. I think that's very, very unfortunate. Like, no one really suspected that Joe Burrow was going to score so little against Cleveland, so I think you can feel a bit hard done by. But with Jamar Chase out, it was always a risk. On the other, and then yeah, Cooper Kupp had his solid day. Justin Jefferson had a solid day as well. He went under as expected, which I think I said was going to happen. Hayden Hurst was fine, but again, you were hoping for more Joe Burrow to Hayden Hurst connection. I just think the white ginger tight end isn't the one to back, really. Good defensive stream. I was skeptical of New York, but I like it. Antonio Gibson had a monster day on your bench. No one would really ever start Antonio Gibson over Jonathan Taylor, so I don't really blame you for that. But at some point, he's costing you games. You know, you have to see that. On the other side, Nick Connor's roster is Jalen Hurts scoring 30, Nick Chubb scoring 25, and then some contributions from Godwin and Higgins and the Muth. So yeah, and terrible defense. Streaming the Rams defense, they're not a good defense anymore. So you can move off of that one. Yeah, I think long term, like you get Devin Singletary's got some competition in Buffalo now. Drake London is still on a bad team. I don't know. You're 5-3 with a very good QB and a very good running back core. DeAndre Swift didn't get that much work. You're dangerous, but you're very much in the soup with us. Yeah, it's very interesting. But Connor got the win there. Okay, our last one that we're going to look through is another one I got right. Kinch beating Skell. Kinch goes to 3-5 and Skell goes to 5-3. Very, very soupy teams right now. Very, very soupy teams. I think it might be a step too far for Kinch to make it to the playoffs, but who knows? When you've got Derrick Henry playing like he is, anything's possible, really. Yeah, Matt Stafford, I was skeptical. I said not to play him, but you stuck with it, and you were rewarded with an average performance, so that's okay, Skell. On the other side, Kirk Cousins, that's the guy I told you to buy. If you'd gotten and got Kirk Cousins, you would have won this week. So take from that what you will. Then you've got running backs. Yeah, Derrick Henry had a monster day. It's weird that big of a day didn't even get him in like the top 2. He was the 3rd best running back on the week, so that's absolutely crazy to me. 35 points from him. Aaron Jones was solid. Michael Carter was okay as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So with TJ Hawkinson being traded to Minnesota now, Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be an absolute smash for the rest of the year. Yeah, I think you can look back on those decisions and not listening to me at QB as the reason you potentially lost this one. But don't beat yourself too much about it because you've got Brandon Ayuk who's pretty solid. Debo is nursing injuries, so Ayuk got a lot of play. Taysom Hill is always dangerous. You streamed a good defense and a kicker. It was okay. Yeah, it's 106 is an all right score in this league. You just probably need a little bit more from that QB situation. Um, as well, Devin Duvernay the rest of the season looking great. I like that. With Rashad Bateman out. On the other side, Kinch, you've got I don't know. Receivers are a bit of a mess. You've already jettisoned Hunter Renfro. Are you ever going to be brave enough to start Greg Wilson? Garrett Wilson, sorry, not Greg. um, maybe. I don't know. Your running backs are good. If you can figure out this receiver stuff, then yeah, hopefully Christian Kirk gets it going and Garrett Wilson brave. Darnell Mooney, maybe not with Claypool in town, but yeah, maybe you can get it going. 3-5 isn't out of the hunt yet. See what happens. Okay, a very quick run through waivers. I'm just going to call out one person at each position that I think should probably be grabbed, and I'll go through a bit more of an in-depth look when I go through the previews going into the week. So coming up, I think Trevor Lawrence should be looked at versus the Las Vegas Raiders this week. Las Vegas are crap against QBs, and I know he's not been the best, but he's not a bad QB. I would expect to see him get back to form against the Raiders. At running back, Kenyon Drake, like theoretically, if Gus Edwards is out, this guy should be great. In fact, I'm going to make a move right now myself. I'm going to pick him up, and I'm probably going to drop Jermichael Hasty to do so. I did select a player to drop. Jermichael Hasty, add player, lovely. Yep, I'll take Kenyon Drake. So yeah, if Gus Edwards is not good to go, then he should have just about the backfield to himself. I don't mind that. I'll give you a spare one, Rashad White. He should be looked at. He should be stashed in case what's his face goes down. Leonard Fournette. Wide receivers, most good players have been picked up here. I would probably look at yeah, we have really done a great job picking up all the good players. Potentially, I would look at if you're absolutely desperate for a start, I think Devontae Parker, if he plays, is probably your best bet. If Mac Jones is back playing, then they will look to Devontae Parker in the end zone, and he might be good for a touchdown. Tight ends, Tyler Higbee is fine, but I would probably Buffalo though. That's not good. I'd probably roll the dice with Mike Gesicki. He's a big athletic guy. His usage is going the wrong way, but he's just a big athletic white guy who likes catching tight ends. Defenses, this is a trap. Green Bay Packers at Detroit. This is an absolute trap. I know they've lost Hawkinson, but yeah, I would probably go with the Arizona Cardinals to shut down Geno Smith and Seattle. Bank on them getting some picks and some sacks on him. Yeah, that's who I'd go for. Very quick look at waivers there. We'll have a more in-depth look at who should be picked up, but those are my early ones, and I made myself a move already live on the podcast. Hope you enjoy. We will be back on Friday with the previews. Peace.